The latest Pompey news, updates every day from the Pompey Sound news desk.
Reports are surfacing that Pompey had a £1.5 million bid for rising star Rogerio Nicosi rejected last summer, so says the Sun newspaper sports desk. After an outstanding start to the season in Belgium, it's now believed a number of Premier League and Championship clubs are chasing the OH Leuven defender's signature this month. John Mousinho was keen to strengthen his backline during the summer as he prepared for the club's second campaign back in the Championship. The Blues brought in Josh Knight from Hannover 96 for a reported £1 million and were linked with other names like West Brom's Christian Bielik. But it seems a move for Switzerland's under-21 international was also on the cards at Fratton Park. A report in The Sun revealed that Pompey showed serious interest in the 21-year-old, backing it up with a formal offer. That seven-figure bid was turned down by OH Leuven, who clearly felt their man was worth significantly more. Whether the Blues will reignite their interest this month remains to be seen, especially as they now face stiff competition. The same report claims West Ham have been scouting Nyakabazi as Nuno Espirito Santo looks to shore up his defence for a relegation battle. Meanwhile, rivals Southampton are also said to be interested, along with a host of unnamed Championship clubs, as the young defender's stock continues to grow. So where would he fit in? News of the failed summer bid comes just days after Pompey were linked with Dundee centre-back Luke Graham, suggesting Mousinho may still be in the market for a defender. On paper, the manager is well stocked. Regan Poole has been an ever-present this season, and Connor Shaughnessy has recently returned from a long-term hamstring injury. Ibain Boat is also available, while Josh Knight and Hayden Matthews continue their recovery from their own recent setbacks. That said, if a top talent like Nicosi became a real possibility, you have to imagine the club might look to sell or loan out a player to free up the necessary squad space.
Yeah, we have to remember that this is a football news agency, a sports news agency, who's bringing us this story, and it's a story that's been doing the rounds for a little while. It may go back to the last transfer window, which of course was during the summer. There may be some truth in the possibility that at some point Pompey picked up the phone and spoke to parent club about him. But one thing that we've learned about Pompey in the 149 games that John Mousinho has been in charge, it is that, probably in keeping with a lot of other clubs, and maybe in keeping with John Mousinho's predecessors, but it wasn't so starkly obvious, if we are talking about the possibility of a player maybe coming to us, and there are negotiations still to be had and contract details still to be sorted out, and everybody has to be satisfied, the parent club, the selling club, the club that's acquiring the player himself, the player's agents and what have you. All of these things have to be sorted out. It's probable that that player won't be coming. And the first thing we'll hear about players who are arriving at Pompey and it's a done deal is when we're told it's a done deal. And by lunchtime that same day that we're told it's a done deal, there that player is posing at Fratton Park wearing a blue shirt. That is how it happens. So there's almost certainly nothing in this story. I'm not saying it's a concoction because journalists don't make stuff up. No, never. But it is important for them to spin on interesting tidbits that have come their way. And sometimes they put two and two together and they almost get four. There was plenty of speculation about the possibility of Matt Ritchie coming back down from the northeast and rejoining Pompey, but that was largely fan generated, and the club, maybe he heard himself that Pompey fans wanted him back. So he may have generated some of that interest himself. The same could have been said of Chaplin, that he may have contacted Pompey and said, you know what, I'm not going to be guaranteed first-team football at Ipswich at the moment, and they're in agreement with the possibility, in theory, of me going out on loan. So how about doing it? And that then snowballed, and it happened. And the same possibly with Swift as well, who obviously wanted to negotiate the best possible wage that he could get at Pompey. So he was happy for that speculation and excitement to grow because it strengthened his hand and his agent's hand. But what I think we can safely say about Mr. Nicosi, I beg his pardon, is that this is probably as close as we're going to get to signing him, just talking about him and the unlikelihood that he's going to turn up. Here's the latest news on our Scouse winger, HARVEY BLAIR. who made a pretty good impression when he came on and was able to skin his man with a step over. We like that, don't we? Cut inside a couple of times and make some space for himself. But here's what he is saying.
It's not easy playing in a totally different side, but I am definitely getting there. When I was at Liverpool, everything was on the ball because we dominated it the whole time. Pompey is completely different. It's about adapting to the team and getting used to how we play. Growing up there, we would have the ball literally the whole game. That's what Liverpool sides do throughout the age groups. Then, I've come here, and it's completely different, so I have to adjust, and that's not a complaint, by the way. I've had to learn the position the gaffer wants me to be in on the press, in certain areas of the game. When you have not started so many matches, it's difficult to just get right into it. I just feel like the more games I play, I will get used to it even more and be able to show everyone. Obviously it's totally different to Liverpool, but I'm sure I will get used to it pretty quickly. My best position is left wing. I used to play there at Liverpool. I like coming inside but also going down the line. On the right side, I feel a little limited, where I can only go down the wing because I'm not as good on my left as on my right. So I feel I can be a little predictable on the right, where I'm forced to go down the wing. However, I actually seem to get into areas and positions better to score on the right. Whereas on the left I feel more free and I can do my things that I've done my whole career. I just feel more fluent on the ball there, even my first touch. I can get it and have options to go inside, outside. QPR's right back Amadou Mbangé didn't know what I was going to do, so he was backing off the whole time.
Yeah, football's an ever-changing game. It's not that long ago that left-sided players played on the left. Players that were left-footed played on the left, and players that were right-footed played on the right. But we've got the excellent Josh Murphy, who apparently prefers his right foot, and he's a left-winger. And it turns out that Harvey BLAIR is exactly the same, because playing on the left, being right-footed, gives him the option of going wide or cutting inside and perhaps being even more dangerous. What it means is that we've got two good players now getting into contention for what we'll call the number 11 shirt, and that's a great luxury as long as both of them can stay fit, because both of them have had a difficulty staying fit. So it's great to have two top number 11s, or one is a top number 11, the other one has enormous potential, but the key thing is, are they always both going to be available for selection, both pushing each other to get that number 11 shirt, or is one, or even worse, both of them going to be watching the game in the stands dressed in their civvies because they're injured? That's the question.
Speculation is mounting that Sunday's FA Cup third-round tie between Pompey and Arsenal could turn out to be a clash between two significantly weakened sides. Pompey's well-documented injury problems will dictate the inclusion of a number of players who would struggle to be an automatic starter under normal circumstances, only to be lining up for kick-off against the Premier League leaders. Arsenal are due to play a vital Premier League clash at home to Liverpool on Thursday night, giving them only 2 full days to regroup and recover from what should be a full-blooded top-of-the-table encounter. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta confirmed ahead of the match that defenders Ricardo Calafiori and Christian Mosquera will be unavailable, continuing a defensive disruption that has arrived for Arsenal at precisely the wrong moment. It may be the case that the Gunners' coaching staff will have to wait until the end of the game to assess what sort of availability there is for their visit to Fratton Park. Arsenal fans' appreciation of Arteta is increasing dramatically now that his side is looking down at the rest of English football from the top of the league, and many fans attribute their success this season down to Arteta's newfound ability to adapt his side according to ongoing injuries. At Pompey, John Mousinho doesn't have the luxury of a squad full of multi-million-pound signings, but he does have access to a number of younger players who will be chomping at the bit to see what they can do against a top-rated side.
Of course, Pompey fans can be excused for hoping, there's nothing wrong with this, that Arsenal have the stuffing knocked out of them against Liverpool in their Premier League game on the Thursday evening before the Sunday FA Cup third round clash with us. And it's not wishing ill on anybody, and we certainly don't wish anybody any lasting injuries, but if somebody, I don't know, strains a calf or gets one of those dead legs that seem to last 7 to 10 days, then we won't be too put out for them. And if it helps us, at least take the game through to extra time and then maybe to penalties, which, if you listen to Steve Bone's excellent piece, is what he thinks and hopes could happen on Sunday, then so much the better. It's always good to hear, in a sense, that other clubs are having injury problems in the same way that Pompey is, although equally I think it's fair to say, and I don't have the stats in front of me, but the feeling I have from trawling round looking at the injury lists of other clubs, we always have a look at the injury list of the club that we're going to play next, and we often find that they're saying that they've got a lot of injuries, but for them a lot of injuries can be 3, 4 or 5 players, 1 or 2 of which are automatic first team picks. The difference between them and us, and this has been the case for some time now, is that our injury list is heading towards double figures, of which half are players that we would expect to start pretty much every game if they're fit. Anyway, we turn our attention to Sunday. We turn our attention to an enjoyable game. Even if we don't come out of it too well, it might be a good thing that we don't have to start worrying about fulfilling our destiny in the FA Cup, and we can focus all our attention on having a healthy second half of the season in the Championship.